here this morning. We welcome Scott Wynn to the show. He's our entertainment guy, and we talked about movies and entertainment. And the number one movie last week was an animated movie in the movie houses, and that was Tom and Jerry. Where are we in the movie entertainment industry? Joining me live right now, former entertainment industry professional and current film professor Joe Fortunato with us on WAKR, and he's done a lot of film study with the Akron Summit County Public Library, and he's joined us from time to time on the show. And Joe, I guess the basic question to start out our conversation is, where are we right now, still with COVID-19 out there in the movie industry?
Well, good morning, Greg. COVID still affects the industry every day because so many movie theaters are closed and more movies are streaming. It's affecting the Oscars. The Oscars were supposed to be February 28th. They got postponed to April 25th, which allows a little bit more time for films to be eligible this year. Some of the eligible films that are front runners now, it's going to be different because most of them came out on streaming. And they're available streaming. No Man Land is probably the front runner, and that is available on Netflix.
Joe, that's the product itself, and that's where I wanted to talk about next. What about the movie product? Obviously, that's been slowed down because of filming and pushing things back and such, but what are you hearing out of Hollywood? How much product is being done and right now is still on the back burner?
Well, the good news is that so many things that were postponed from last year are now going to be released this year. The question still remains, how many people will go to theaters and how many people will still stream stuff, at home? Some big movies, one being released today, Coming to America, the sequel to the Eddie Murphy hit, is going to be streaming on Amazon starting today. A couple of big releases from last year that got pushed back is the James Bond film, No Time to Die. That's going to come out on April 2nd. Black Widow is going to be coming out on May 7th. So a lot of films that were supposed to come out last year are now coming out this year. That's in addition to the new films that are coming out that were set for release this year. Big things like Godzilla vs. Kong, which is coming out May 21st. That'll be streaming on HBO Max as well as being in theaters. So viewers are going to have choices.
Educate us a little bit, Joe. And we're talking with Joe Fortunato, again, current film professor. A lot of people might not understand when filming starts for certain movies and then the timeline. And I ask that question because the last 12 months, I imagine the filming has been really slowed down with COVID-19. Now, there's obviously some movie stuff that is in the books that maybe we will see, as you just mentioned, this year. But how does that affect 2022, Joe?
Well, things are slowing down or have slowed down because of the pandemic in the last year. But production has ramped up. Hollywood's figured out a way to do things safely and to still produce movies on set. And it's a little bit more expensive because of the accommodations that need to be made for safety. But things should be back in the pipeline. It's really a matter of pipeline because the stuff that's now being produced is going to be ready to go. It's just a matter of getting them into theaters. And when theaters want to, if studios want to wait and see if they can put them into theaters or if they're comfortable streaming on things like HBO Max.
Yeah, and that's the next thing, isn't it, Joe? Because of COVID-19, we've seen the streaming with movies, like you mentioned, Coming to America 2, that is out today, where it's changing the landscape of movies. And moving forward, talk about how you see the movie theater presence compared to the streaming of the movie presence. Will it be a combination? Will the theaters need to be creative? How do you see that side of the business going forward?
Well, that's $1 million question, and I wish I had a crystal ball to give you a really good answer. But I'm sort of an old school romantic in the sense that I feel like there's a need for in-person theaters, and I think that people are going to crave that experience once it's safe to go back into theaters. And, you know, a knock on wood, we're getting closer and closer to COVID cases coming down with the vaccinations. And, you know, I think Hollywood is banking on the fact that theaters will be able to reopen, you know, in the summer, and some are already open, of course, but more and more theaters will be able to reopen in the summer and fall, and that people will want to go back to the theaters. We won't know until it happens, but I think there's enough people that enjoy the communal experience that they'll be able to recoup some of their lost visitors.
He is a film professor, Joe Fortunato, with us on WAKR. So, Joe, going now to where we are in 2021, you mentioned some of the movies to expect in the months ahead. Little preview for us for the spring, summertime, and 2021 season we can expect to see, the big ones?
Yeah, sure. Like I said, I already mentioned Coming to America is going to be hitting Amazon today, starting today. The Bond film, No Time to Die, comes out on April 2nd. Some other films that I haven't mentioned yet are Cruella, which is the Disney live-action take on 101 Dalmatians. That stars Emma Stone. That's going to come out May 28th. For the fans of the Fast and the Furious series, Fast and the Furious 9, if you can believe that, is going to also come out on May 28th. Fans of Hamilton might be looking forward to Lin-Manuel Miranda's new film, In the Heights, which is based on his musical of the same name, and that's coming out in June. So that's, I don't know if June is still considered spring or we're bordering on the summer months at that point, but there's a lot of things to look forward to, actually.
Yeah, looking forward to 2021. My wife and I were saying just the other day on a ride, one of the things she was saying she said, I miss the date nights and going to the movie theater. I think it's going to be really interesting once we beat down this virus, Joe. I think that people are going to want to really flock to get back to the theaters to check that out once they feel safe and secure.
That's my hope, and like I said, I'm an old school romantic when it comes to that, and I agree with you, and I hope that people feel the same way, and I certainly encourage people to go out to the theaters once they feel safe to do so.
All right, my friend. Thank you for the insight, the intel. Always enjoyed talking to you, Joe, and I'll stay in contact. Thank you for making time for me today.
Thanks, Ray. Have a good day.
You too. Joe Fortunato with us. Again, he's a former entertainment industry professional, and he's a current film professor joining us live this morning, and he's pretty optimistic about the film industry. And he did say the product is coming big time now and even into next year. They've been busy being creative in Hollywood.